we have the plans for 221? So I see Dan's comments and I see the application, but are the plans on that attachment set there? So I'm just looking at the GIS map and I'm looking at the sewer plan. So I'm assuming they're going to connect to Grace Drive and not Hull Street.
Correct. That's how it looks. And there would be a pump farther down the driveway, I believe.
Yeah, and I guess so. There was a gentleman here a couple weeks ago. There was a contractor and the owner developer came in and he put in his application for as a drain layer. I think that was left on your desk, Carol. And we talked about the site a little bit, but basically, you know, they need a grinder pump. I think the main concern was that they had or that I looked at was that they had the right of way or the easements to access Grace Drive through the adjacent properties. I don't know how it's chopped up there. And I don't have their site plan.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Dan's comments look good, and you know, basically that's going to come. It's going to get pumped out to Grace and down the Gravity, and then out to towards Hull. So it's not coming back our way.
Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning.
Hey, Wayne.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. So Carol, let's make note. It's 9:42 a.m. We're going to open the Paul Kears, Vice Chair, and Wayne Sawchuk, Clerk. So we do have a quorum, and we'll call the meeting to order. The only thing on the agenda is 221 Hull Street. Wayne, I had asked Brian Joyce just to take a look at the properties. I know I spoke with Bill earlier, and he said there was a little bit of history on that property. As you go up, as you first enter onto Grace Drive, there's a small house on the left, which is 2 Grace Drive. You go a little farther up on the left, there's 10 Grace Drive. Property actually had 2 lots, and they were, I think, sold independently. And so this lot is may have an easement from the driveway of 10 to go back behind that house to where the property is. And a new house would be built there, is how I see the plans, basically. And so they submitted an application to put in sewer based on a 4-family home. And Dan had looked at the plans and sent out his opinions yesterday afternoon, forwarded them off to the developer as well. And so here's where we are. So who's representing the property today?
My name is Cameron Campbell. I'm with DeSalle Burke Sala, filling in for Jim Burke.
Okay, thank you. And if you want to kind of let us know where you're at, and did you have an opportunity yourself to review Dan's?
So I looked at it quickly this morning.
Okay.
And all the comments seem fairly reasonable. They're nothing outrageous. And I think we'll be able to take care of the majority of them. I know Jim Burke mentioned that there was a comment regarding the location of the proposed E1 and how it's further down the driveway, and if you guys would rather have it up towards the house. And he's kind of just trying to figure out what you guys would like for the placement. I know the existing one for 10 Grace Drive is at the bottom of the driveway as well. So we kind of put it where that one was. And I don't know if you guys have a preference for where that E1 is located.
Yeah, I mean, typically from my perspective, there's a certain distance that's reasonable, I think, with the placement of the control panel relative to the pump. So there was no indication of where the control panel was.
Yeah.
Where were you planning on installing that?
I don't have the floor plans off of me, but it would be, I would assume, in the basement of the dwelling.
Okay, well, typically we need the control panels mounted on the exterior of the building.
Yeah.
Just so they're accessible to any town operator. who needs to shut it down for some reason. But we need to have the control panel shown, and like I said, typically I think you can get it up to 50 feet maybe of cable with the standard E1, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna be 160 feet away, which is what you have here, you know, there's an issue, and you know, they would have to custom wire that, and the question is then how do we have a local disconnect next to the pump, you know, 160 feet away? So, I mean, ideally, we like to have them generally within 30 feet of the control panel.
All right,
And you get 35 feet of cable, so, you know,
yeah,
with a
yeah.
standard unit, so that usually works out the best. And that way, if the alarm goes off, the homeowner, you know, hears it, not everybody else in the neighborhood,
Yeah,
and nothing happens. You know, so it usually works out best that way. 160 feet away is a long way with a 4-inch pipe and multiple bends with no cleanouts, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
And could that be mounted on a piece of pressure treated, 2x12 or something in the area?
It could, but then again, you know, I would recommend that if it is done like that, then you need a remote alarm back up to the residents.
Oh.
Because they're never gonna hear the alarm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I can share the screen real quick if you guys want, because I have the proposed layout, if you'd rather see
All right,
that.
hold on one moment. Let me give you the. Okay, go ahead.
Can you all see that?
Yes,
Yeah, so we originally, we designed it for, this is the proposed E1. This is where the one for 10 Grace Drive is. So we can move it up in the vicinity of the house, and then just be a pressure pipe coming down the driveway instead of the 4-inch gravity line.
You sure that's the pump though, in that cover there?
I haven't personally opened it, but I don't know why there would be a manhole there.
It could be for the check valve or isolation gate.
Yeah,
The original location that we had listed was basically underneath their porch.
all right.
The porch was built.
Yeah, I haven't been out to this site. It was, our surveyors went out and did it. I'm not sure if they
And
opened
again,
it or
I
not.
don't see any control panel locally mounted either, so I'm kind of questioning whether or not that is the pump.
Yeah. So yeah, we can revise it so that the pump is more, most likely end up being somewhere in this vicinity. And then it'll have the pressure pipe come down the driveway.
Which would make it easier basically to traverse those other utilities, you know?
Yeah. And I know there was mention in the comments to use like the clay check dams for the construction to prevent any like washout down towards Grace Drive, and we have no issue with that. It is a ledgy site, so it's the best would probably be done to be anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple comments on the drainage. You had that infiltration trench along the roadway.
Yeah.
If the water runs off the driveway into that, based upon the detail that you have, more than likely that water is gonna migrate both into the water service as well as the sewer service. So there needs to be some type of separation or break there.
All right.
yeah, there is water issue there on that road. Right in that area.
Right, it's all rock, so the ledge is very shallow.
It's all ledge, yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you combine the surface runoff with that as well. I mean, theoretically, I think all the water main that you're proposing is in the sand bed. The sewer should be in a sand bed, so.
yeah, we can update the details and match your standard details.
I mean, we've seen this before, and basically the gate boxes down near the roadway are artesian wells essentially.
Yeah,
I had a question for you. It's a little bit off, but you have a perforated under drain pipe on your rain garden?
yeah.
But no discharge pipe.
So typically, if you're infiltrating the rain garden, your under drain, you end up having an overflow at the top of the rain garden that feeds the under drain. So you'll have like a little area drain in your rain garden. So when the water gets too high, it bypasses the rain garden and just feeds it directly down to the bottom so that it increases the infiltration. I believe that was the purpose here. We don't have a proposed real outlet for those. It's if this were like a detention system, we would put an outlet in, but we can add, I don't think we show it, but we can add the detail. Essentially, you have an area drain within the rain garden that, so if under large storm events, when the rain garden starts to fill up too much, it'll essentially bypass the soil and put it right down into the rock,
Okay.
into the gravel layer.
I mean, the rain garden jet design, obviously, I just, typically when I see a perforated drain, it's basically to take excess flow away, but I didn't see any pipe, so I was just wondering if there's a pipe we were missing.
Yeah. So we have no outlet proposed per se.
Nice pool.
I believe the outlet, it was probably designed grading with like a kind of a overflow wear as it'll overtop it and then just sheet flow over the ground during very large storm events.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, we got the comments yesterday, so we haven't had a chance to really dive into them or start the revisions. And after looking at them, a lot of them, there's really no issue with any of the we don't have any issue with any of the comments, and we don't see a problem with being able to revise them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the only concern I had is during that construction, if there was a high ledge lot, we did allow 3-foot burials with pre-insulated piping. So I'm not sure if this installation has that, but 3 feet of cover, and if you start putting heavy equipment over it, it may be an issue.
yeah,
So kind of recommending that you at least maybe test pit the area to find it and see what you have. And maybe just put plates over it or something until you have a roadway,
yeah. So I know there's a driveway at the opening. There's already part of a driveway there. It just, as it extends back up, because the way this site was, they cut off this extra lot from 10 Grace Drive, but when they cut it off, they didn't pay attention to where 10 Grace Drive's utilities were. So essentially their utilities are on our lot.
Yeah, which means you still have to protect them, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just concerned because you had a phase plan. I think it was the one you label as construction management.
Yeah.
And you obviously have access to the rear of the lot, and you had a dumpster very close to the on the other side of the sewer. But no driveway yet, or no roadway proposed. So
Yeah.
basically you were going to be taking heavy equipment over the grassed area, and our concern was that material wasn't going to have sufficient bearing to protect that pipe.
Yeah. So yeah, we can look into it, and if it's required to sleeve it or whatnot, we'll propose it and show it on the construction management plan.
Yeah. One final question. I know you had 3 different references to the E1 pumps. You know which one you're using?
Yeah, I don't specifically, the one on the plan that we show. So the issue is, yeah, I think the DH-152 is what we were proposing. The 192, I think, is a typo on the plan. And then the homeowner sent in the application. So I don't know where I don't know if he talked to someone and they suggested using that one. So we'll have to check with him and see what his plan was.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just, this, the 2 pump scenarios are also obviously overkill.
Yeah.
For the installation, and it tends to, the larger chamber tends to accumulate more grease and be more problematic if it's not getting regular use.
Yeah.
The application looked right and these looked wrong, but just let us know.
Yeah, so I would assume he talked to the manufacturer and that's the one they suggested.
Yeah, I
And
mean, also looking at all the ledge you have out here, they also have a ledge tank or a squat tank. That might be
Yeah.
desirable too.
yeah,
Do you have any other questions on the comments or all?
not specifically, it was just, our big question was the location of the E1 where you guys would like it, and we got that answered, so. We'll work on the revisions and get them over to you as soon as we get them done.
And just from an administrative perspective, we need to know if there's an easement or right of way on the property or not. To go.
There
Two
isn't at the moment. There were talks of giving one to 10 Grace Drive because of their sewers on our property.
Yeah.
But we don't have an easement to access this property or whatnot. We have the frontage on Grace Drive and on Hull Street.
Right.
They just subdivided it off without looking where their sewer went.
Okay. So Brian had some questions about that aspect of it, so we want to get that clarified.
Yeah, I know they were fighting it and stuff, and I know there was conversations regarding it. I'm not sure what the outcome of it was.
Okay.
We can look into it and let you guys know.
I actually would like, Carol, maybe you can look into it too. A couple of years back, we released easements to the homeowners. We
Okay,
just double check to see if this easement was released too, because at one point in time, number 10 granted the town an easement for the sewer.
so I'm looking for number 10 Grace Drive.
It also can be listed as number 3 historically.
Okay. I will check. Cameron, could you also send that map to me? The one that you just,
The
yeah, the
plan?
plan.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually might be 4, Dan, because we've got 2 down at the bottom and then it goes to 10. So
It could be 4 also, but it was,
Yeah.
it was originally listed as 3,
3.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll double check.
even though it was on the wrong side of the street.
Okay. And then Cameron, once you guys are planning to go to the planning board and getting a building permit and get everything, there is a privilege and hookup fee that would be associated with the property as well.
Yeah.
It's on those ADUs. It would be 37,500, I believe.
All right.
Don't want it to be a surprise to anyone.
Understandable.
So Wayne, do you have any comments at all?
I'm all set.
So I guess the next plan of action will be to hear back from Cameron and his group in response to Dan's comments. And then Dan, would you be expecting revised plans?
Yeah, I'd be expecting revised plans, and Cameron, if you could also just take my list, you have that, and just respond to each on how you addressed it.
Yeah. Yeah, we typically do a response letter and we'll write your comment out and then our response underneath it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then do you want to go out or have someone from DPW go out and take a look at that manhole cover, Dan, to see if it's a pump or not, or what's there?
Yeah, I think maybe we could have Scott take a look
Okay.
to see if he can locate the pump for I guess number 10, Grace.
Okay. Is that something that you can initiate, Dan?
Certainly.
Okay.
And we'll have him take a
Because
look.
Brian Joyce is not on the call, so
Yeah, we'll have him take a look underneath that cover as well at the entrance.
yeah, that's right at the driveway in the street. Okay. Does anybody have any other comments? Or any other business to discuss not anticipated within 48 hours? And then Wayne, the question I had for you is if we want to have another sewer meeting in February, do we want to have it, 2 weeks from now, which would be the 14th or 15th, Wednesday, Thursday? Certainly wait until the 21st and 22nd,
That's fine.
14, 15.
Sure,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so Wednesday is Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, and whatever else Wednesday. So if you're a good Wednesday morning, we can, because we had the folks from BlackRock that wanted to come before the board. Yeah.
Okay.
History with that area, so I wanted to make sure that you're available for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, the 15th,
The
And we'll
14th,
It's the 14th,
14th, sorry,
and that would be at 9:30 a.m.
9:30. Okay,
we
I
also have a
think
meeting Friday, correct?
And we're also meeting Friday, correct?
Yes. Now, there is a project that I became aware of that is, I guess, beginning to go through the system, and it's for Lambert's Lane, and it's a 6-lot subdivision and it looks very complicated stuff.
Mhm.
But we're sort of, those plans, I think, are starting to go through. And it's apparently the applicant already has the permission from the town of Hingham to be able to make the connection, and but when I look at it, it is it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
So,
that whole area, everyone over there has grinder pumps, right?
right, there's but it's like they're tearing down one house to put another house in, and in the end, I don't know how they got the subdivision plan done, but
Yeah.
it is it's going to be coming up, and so something else to look at.
Okay. So what, Carol, if you get something from planning, usually planning board usually sends out a memo to a bunch of boards that says, hey, we're looking at this next week, any comments, kind of thing. So if you could let us know if you see anything on Lambert's Lane in advance, that would be great.
Carol, you also.
I know
received-
I spoke with John Hallen on this, so the guy that has 26 Lambert, he was trying to circumvent the natural order of things
Okay,
by coming to me first. And he has to go through planning, and he has to go through building department, and he has to go through all of that before I can do anything. So I believe he was going to planning. I don't know if it's gone through planning, so I will follow up with them. And then he had to go through John, and because he was separating it into 6 lots.
Yes.
And so all of that had to be done ahead of time. I know that he's been dealing with conservation right now, but I'll
Okay.
get more information and send it to you.
terrific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I sat through a 3-hour meeting of conservation a week ago, and that was the primary thing that they were dealing with. And so I'm looking at it like, it looks like it's, already done, and everybody's approved it, but it clearly, and in the comments that were made about the sewer and going in the hull and all the other stuff, was just saying, boy, this is something I didn't know about and stuff. So
Mhm.
that's where it came up.
Carol, you had distributed some plans from Concom. Is there any action on that that you want from me, or?
No, I just forwarded that to you just for info.
Okay.
Was that the BlackRock property or this?
It was conservation, I thought, a couple conservation plans or something.
What property though?
Now, it's Black Rock and not Black Horse,
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's Black Horse. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong street.
right? Because there's that they made a subdivision in there. And I think, Dan, there was some talk earlier about the size pipes and stuff, but I don't know if that is where that is in the whether it's an actual application and stuff, or whether or not it's something that they're just looking at.
Yeah, it came in yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, you're right, Wayne. It's 94 Black Horse Lane. Not Black Rock.
Yeah, 94 Black Horse.
Yep, sorry, I had the wrong street.
And there was also 243 North Main.
Okay.
So at this point in time, wait till you tell me to do something with those, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know what they want to do, so at least you have the information anyway.
Yep, appreciate it.
Okay,
Does the sewer go to 243?
Carl, there wasn't an application for 243, right? This is just,
240,
yeah, I think he's,
243.
yeah, I think that was on the agenda for the planning board, I think,
Yeah.
so.
It's conservation.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything.
I just thought that that maybe it's outside of our where we sewer on North Main Street.
Yeah, I don't believe there's sewer
We
down
come out
there.
of we come out of Redgate Lane, right? And that's I thought was the end of it. By the Little League field and stuff.
Yeah, well, Dan, you can just send us an email on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it
where-
looks like it looks like it's an on-site system. It's just a stormwater application. Probably has nothing to do with us.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else? Okay, so Wayne, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
aye.
All right, thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned and we'll see each other on Friday and then again on Wednesday, the 14th at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.